Harry Potter is without a doubt in my mind a name that will go down in history. The books named after him are inspirational stories that inspired successful movies, some successful video games, and even a play. In this story, Harry Potter goes from a young mage to a very powerful wizard, overcoming the odds and obstacles that stand in his way. He's fated to do great things during these events, as long foretold in a prophecy that was written long before he was even born. In 2013, an anime like Harry Potter came out. In this story, there's multiple similarities between it and Harry Potter. Both of the characters attend a magical school, where the students are taught different types of magic. Along the way, both of them makes friends and rivals as they grow closer to completing their prophecy. They won magic sporting events and had professors who believed in them and helped them. The pressures of fulfilling a prophecy followed them, yet inspired them to keep moving onward, strengthening them. However, there are great differences from these characters. And if you're familiar with Little Witch Academia, you would argue that what I said is just straight up not true. The main character, Akko, never wins a sporting event, and she is anything but talented, oftentimes struggling to do even simple magic. That's because while Akko is the main protagonist of the anime, she's not the character I'm referring to. For that, you need to look at her mentor, Professor Ursula, also known as Chariot du Nord, who is a failed protagonist. Little Witch Academia has an interesting turn in a prophecy-based plot and turned it into an interesting supportive character for the show. And this is the story about how Chariot du Nord is a Little Witch Academia's failed protagonist. If you're watching this hoping I'm gonna make some kind of harebrained theory about how Chariot is physically Harry, then this isn't the video for you. What I mean is that Harry and Chariot have multiple similarities in how their character is portrayed, and Chariot's story might even be inspired from Harry's. There are a lot of similarities between the characters, such as excelling in one subject and being above average in the others, their success in sports, and others. Hell, even the glasses, if you wanted to go there. None of those are terribly important, however, and not the point of this video. What's important is the prophecy that follows them. For Harry, he's prophesied to vanquish the Dark Lord Voldemort, and Chariot is prophesied to restore magic using the shiny rod. Each of them have their actions in the story change based on this prophecy, and knowing that they have this set out path laid before them. While we don't really know how Chariot acts most of the time, I believe that through viewing what her character turns out to be, we can understand how she acted in the moment. The brilliance of Chariot's character is how her prophecy changes her. Looking at things we know about her, we can look and see why the prophecy shaped her personality. I believe it's important to start at the beginning, so let's go ahead and look at things in chronological order. Chariot was a mage, and while she had her struggles, her hard work eventually paid off as she became successful in school and sporting events. During this time, she found the shiny rod, the key that sealed away a grand magic. If someone was able to revive all 7 words, they would remove the seal and gain the magic to change the world, which Chariot was going to use in order to restore magic, which had started to fade in her lifetime. Using the help of her friend and rival, Crux, she eventually revives 6 of the 7 words. The rod uses emotional magic in order to revive these words. So, to help her do this, she becomes a stage performer where Akko and Diana are inspired by her acts of magic. Around this time, some witches of a more conservative nature started disapproving of her magic shows, saying that they were flashy and put a bad name to magic. This caused her name to become more of a disgrace amongst witch circles. Eventually, she becomes stuck and isn't able to get the 7th word. Around this time as well, her magic show started to plummet in popularity and was the second negative influence on her life. While it's true that the prophecy was a self-given one, there is no doubt that it affected her, and specifically affected her to make her greatest mistake. Chariot tied her confidence into her performances and the prophecy of the rod. When she became stuck with the rod, she turned to performing. This gave her confidence to deal with the failure of her not being able to find the seventh word, as well as complete her dream. And then, when her shows start to fail for her, it becomes too much. Crux offers her a solution, and in an act of recklessness, she accepts and uses the magic without completely understanding it. When she finds out that it steals people's magic, it's too late, as the damage has already been done, so she swears off using it. The audience has gotten used to the new performances, however, and she can't deny that she misses using it in her performances, and the fame that it gives her, and the confidence that it gives her. In a moment of weakness, as she watches her dream die right in front of her, with both of her failures weighing down on her, she makes a rash and foolish mistake and scars the world forever. This makes her no longer worthy of the shiny rod. Her rashness throughout this entire moment leads to scars that need to be healed through the entire series. The character that we see before us at the beginning of the series is no longer Chariot, but Ursula, which I feel is how the show defines her change of personality. With the mistakes of her past, she sets out her past life and almost lives in exile. She's given up on her dreams and hopes and lives from day to day, hoping that one day she might be able to find a new purpose. When she meets Akko, she's determined to help her not only because she has the rod, but because she quickly identifies, due to Akko's chariot obsession, that she is one of those people that she hurt in her moment of recklessness. At the climax in the relationship between these two characters, she's forced to reveal her mistakes to Akko, which devastates her by revealing to Akko how human her idol actually is. When everything's resolved, however, it actually allows for Ursula to heal and become Chariot once again. We watch as the series progresses, as Ursula starts to become Chariot again. She becomes confident slowly over time, willing to stand up where beforehand she would just take it. At this time, her confidence is more found, however, and is more about on who she is as a person, instead of the goals that she's chasing after. At the end of the series, you can see the final transformation, as you see she becomes a combination of Ursula and Chariot. She's no longer ashamed of her past or her mistakes, choosing to live as herself and not hide her identity. Finally, while her dream is still dead of being a stage performer and can never be revived, she instead finds a new one in training Akko and the other students, and finds happiness through it. The character of Chariot is an interesting twist on the entire prophecy dynamic often seen within media. This is why I think the character works so well, and not only does it create a very sympathetic mentor character, but one with a lot of opportunity to grow and introduce new ideas by playing off of old ideas, and thus why they're almost like a fallen Harry Potter.